Hello, I'm Dr. Lexi Lane, and I am doing a Dr. Lexi Reacts segment to National Geographic's The Science of Stress. And this is my first segment. And as I open up this nice, wonderful journal, it's well put together. The first thing that I open up to is meditation. And so it's a group of women, and they are sitting there meditating. And they say meditation has been shown to de escalate the physical symptoms of acute stress. Such adaptive bodily functions show that certain practices can help us to optimize our behavior. Meditation, right there, front and center. So I love meditation, and we do not have to do it for very long. We can do acute or little mini brain breaks for a minute or even 3 minutes, and you can really feel your nervous system shift down from that fight or flight, super high stress, can't see a solution to a problem, right down into calm, rest and digest state, just in within 3 minutes. You can even feel the benefits after 1 minute. So it doesn't have to take very long at all. And I highly recommend integrating in so maybe two little mini breaks. I call them brain breaks during your day. This is a rest and recovery because it gives you this opportunity to press the timeout button. It's a good time to do maybe in between your meetings when you're back to back to back, because let me ask you, how many of you by the end of your day, you're brain dead, like you just have nothing left to give? And then you get in your car and you go home in that rush hour traffic, which actually can be a moment of decompressing for many people. But then you have to jump right into taking care of families and running kids around to their different sporting events. There's so much that happens outside of work and outside of the demands of our daily activities. So meditation can give us that opportunity to have a rest and recovery session, and it can be very rejuvenating and extremely beneficial to your productivity in the afternoon, but also how you're behaving with your loved ones at the end of the day. And then you might have a little bit more energy in the tank to do some personal development or the things that you need to decompress for yourself at the end of your day. So I'm going to dive into 8 different types of meditations, and this is going to be a very high level, quick and dirty synopsis of different ways that we can meditate. Because oftentimes when you're a go, get 'em person, the idea of meditating, the first thing you think about is, well, I can't stop and I can't sit and be still. So, well, guess what? There's movement meditation. Movement meditation is all about movement with your body in conjunction with breath. And it's very slow, methodical movements. So Qigong and Tai Chi are 2 examples of how we can do movement meditation. You can also do what's called forest bathing, where you're actually, instead of running through the forest, training for something, you're actually slowing down and walking at a slower pace. So it's very intentional. And what you're doing is you're seeing what you see, you hear what you hear, birds, for example, you feel what you feel, like the wind, and you smell what you smell, the forest, the earth, maybe fresh, crisp fall air. You're activating all 5 senses, especially when you're doing movement meditation. This is great for your ADD person, because to ask an ADD person to sit still and focus is going to be a big ask. So doing something like a movement meditation can be extremely beneficial to bringing down stress, connecting back to nature, and shifting that nervous system down. And guess what? If you have kids that are on a playground or they're doing sports and they're at a practice and you're sitting outside, you can do it then too. You can just stop the conversation. Maybe you're sitting a little bit away from people, which they might be like, why is she so standoffish? But what you're doing is you're holding space for your own, maybe meditation outside. So on that next step, I want to talk about mindfulness meditation. So mindfulness meditation is paying attention to your thoughts, which is kind of nice, especially for those people who have a very busy, active mind. So what you're doing is you are actually sitting and you're still. My favorite position with meditation is actually to lay down, and I lay on a yoga mat and I put my knees up. That's my favorite position. I don't like to sit up. My back gets a little tired, and I don't know, I just find it most comfortable to lay down. And if I doze off and fall asleep in my 3 minutes, which has happened, then that just means I was really tired and I needed that moment to rest, and I honor that. But mindfulness meditation, mindful, so being mindful of your thoughts, and all you're doing is you're observing. This is really great for when you have to critically think through a problem, solve, or come up with a solution, or you've got a decision to make and you need time to process. So, mindfulness meditation is allowing your brain to ruminate and process while you're sitting there still, away from everything and everybody. You're inhaling and you're exhaling and you're being very present, and you're just letting your mind wander. But it is really important to be very intentional with what you want to do with your mindfulness. So, for example, I need to make a big decision. I'm at a crossroad on something. Whatever decision I make, there's going to be consequences. So you're kind of stuck in between a rock and a hard place. Mindfulness meditation can be really helpful for you to be able to come up with some solutions. Spiritual meditation. So if you're wanting to and get more enlightened and in tune with God within you, God around you, universe, divine, use your terms that fits you. My favorite meditation in this is called the Vipassana meditation. It's a silent meditation, and it's one where you are literally working to be sitting in silence for a long duration of time. So a common duration for Vipassana is 10 days of silence, which is extreme. I have done that. But what we're doing is we're actually maybe you do a weekend silent retreat, or maybe 24 hours of silence. And that's tough, especially when you have families and spouses or people in your life that you want to contact. So when I did my 10-day silent meditation, I actually did it during 2020. So during that time, there was really hardly anything going on, and I wasn't around anyone. So it was very easy for me to do a 10-day silence, literally sitting in silence. So you don't have to be that extreme. But a lot of your religious like practices and your spiritual meditation, they can be done in synagogues. They can be done at home. Prayer, Christians use prayer. That can be a very intentional, contemplative time, conversations with God. So that's another form of meditation. We can do focused. Focused meditation is where you are literally focusing on all five senses. So that's kind of like what I was talking about with the movement meditation, but you're not actually moving. You can move, but this is where we're wanting to actually, we can listen to a gong. I've got a Tibetan bell, and so a sound that actually is repeated like this. And I'm not sure if you can pick up that sound on my mic, but we can use Tibetan bells to help us to clear our mind, and that can be very helpful for someone who has the racing mind and they need something to disrupt it. And so focused meditation can be helpful for that scenario. Then we have mantra meditation. So this is kind of your classic Tibetan monks when they're going om, om. And so when you do this om sound, this hum, you're actually vibrating the back of your throat. You're activating the vagus nerve, which is all about self-regulation. You don't have to do om, but what you're doing is a mantra. And you can also do affirmations. So this is a mantra meditation where you can tell yourself, I am successful. I am achieving my goals. I am podium worthy, which is a common one for myself, especially for triathlon. There's many different things that you can say for yourself. I am healthy. I am well. And you pick affirmations and you're repeating them almost like a mantra. And that would be a form of mantra meditation. Okay, you can't sleep. You're laying in bed, you're restless, you got the busy mind and insomnia. So this is a progressive relaxation meditation. So when you're laying in bed, what you're doing is you're going to crunch up your toes as hard as you can and counting to 10, and then you're going to relax and just your toes, nothing else. And then you're going to crunch up your toes and your feet, maybe even your calves, and that's it. Then you're going to relax and you're going to work your way up all the way to you're crunching up the whole body and you're holding everything in place really, 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 really tight, and then relaxing. By the time you do this progressive relaxation from toes to head and you've got your whole body engaged, you will relax, I promise. And it's a very good way to distract the mind while you're sitting there laying in bed trying to fall asleep. This can be a way to help you to bring your nervous system down, to help your body get ready for sleep. So there's that. Visualization technique. So this is going to be your goal-oriented, super, ready to go get them people. And this is where we're actually visualizing ourselves crushing that presentation. We're visualizing ourselves through that routine. I visualize myself before a race, I swim through the race, I cycle through the course, I'm running through the course and, imagining myself crossing that line with my health intact. So we can be visualizing and seeing ourselves doing the thing that we really want to do. So all of these different types of ways to meditate, there's a lot of different ways. And so it's not just about sitting and being still and staring at a flame and quieting the mind. There's many ways to implement this wonderful, wonderful stress reducing tool. Not only is it de-stressing you, but it's helping your brain and your mind to really come up with solutions to a problem, enlightenment, clarity. It's a very, very good practice. It's why we've been doing meditation for centuries. And then the final one is going to be the loving kindness meditation. And I have created a meditation called the butterfly meditation, which is kind of like this loving kindness one. And this would be great for people there are people in your life that you either need to forgive because you're angry or resentful, things that are going on. And so the butterfly is all about transformation. But what you're doing is you're seeing these situations or these people in a light through the lens of gratitude, of thank you for the opportunity to be difficult, to allow me to practice the gift of love and kindness in an unconditional setting. Or thank you for the opportunity to strengthen my ability to say no. Or thank you for the opportunity to allow me to transform this issue that I once had to be able to rise above it. Lots of different ways to thank that person for making you a better version of yourself. You can send them love. And then it also is an opportunity for you to visualize and receive love and gratitude. And so that is a loving kindness meditation. So which one of these meditation practices do you put in place? Which one are you interested in trying? And which one, is a heck no, I'm not doing that. But I'm sure you can find a meditation that's right for you. And I use a little bit of a lot of these, actually. I use quite a few. So I probably use everything except for the progressive relaxation, but I definitely implement meditation. I'm a huge fan, and it's one of my favorite tools for stress management and reduction. All right, I hope this was useful and helpful to you, Dr. Lexi, and stay tuned for my next segment for Dr. Lexi Reacts to the Science of Stress from National Geographic's magazine. All right, have a good night.